Hey guys, it's Jay and welcome to another episode of Foodie Friday. Now, today's recipe is actually a reboot of an old recipe from about 3 years ago on the channel, which is the Spinach Lasagna recipe. This recipe has actually adapted over the years. We eventually turned it into a pasta bake with rotini and just muddling all the ingredients together and letting it bake. And more recently, we have started to replace the pasta in the recipe with zucchini. Now, I know this is a big trend lately. Everybody's on the zoodles, zucchini noodles, as they love to call them. And so let's give it a try today. Now, as always, we are making the sauce for this with ground turkey. And my ground turkey today is frozen hard as a rock. So this is gonna need some time to defrost. I'll be back in a minute. All right, approximately 18 minutes later and the meat is defrosted. So let's officially start the recipe. First, we're gonna assemble the sauce. Now, this is the same sauce that we used in the spinach lasagna last time around. I was gonna say last year, it's been a few years. And the same sauce that I sort of reincorporated into the stuffed peppers. So let's do it. We are going to start, as always, with about 2 tablespoons of oil over medium-high heat in a pot. We'll let this come up to temperature. After 2 or 3 minutes, the oil is up to temperature, so we will add our ground turkey and choppa until it is nice and brown. So while our meat is browning back there, we're gonna turn our attention to some frozen spinach. We are going to put this in a microwave safe container and give it about 12 minutes on high in the microwave to get it nice and pretty much cooked through. Turkey browning, check. Spinach nuking, check. So you know what it's time for? A big old bag of zucchini. I've got about 6 really large zucchini here. I don't know if I'm gonna end up using all of them, but we'll see how it goes. Usually I just kind of take a knife and chop these into thin little rounds, but I'm gonna try to do long cross cuts today using a box grater. I know you could probably do it in a food processor or if you have a mandolin or something like that, but I'm gonna see what damage I can do. This will be the first time I've tried to make these not just using a knife and chopping awkwardly. Let's try to get some precision. So I have already washed the zucchini. I am just going to trim off the head and the bootay, and we will just try to run these across maybe one plane. Let's use this bottom plane of the box grater. Now this might end up being too thin for my taste. I might give up and use a knife, but we're gonna try to persist for now. That worked pretty well until my zucchini broke, but we'll deal with that. This feels really dangerous. I feel like I need a hand guard. I'm gonna lose a finger, but look at these nice paper thin zucchini we've got here. Alright, there we go. We have a whole plate of nice thin zucchini slices. I pretty much did the zucchini until it got down to the point where I felt like I might lose a finger, so I'll probably slice these in little pieces and use them for filler, but hey, get on there. Look at all these zucchini. So our chicken has reached the point where it is nice and brown and most of the water has cooked out of it. It's making happy little sizzling noises, so we will add the rest of the ingredients for the sauce. Starting with 1 29-ounce can of tomato sauce or 2 15-ounce cans, followed by 1 tablespoon of Mrs. Dash Italian seasoning or your favorite Italian seasoning, 1 tablespoon dried minced onion, and I sadly am completely out of dried minced onion, so just use your imagination, 1/2 teaspoon each of dried basil, dried oregano, and garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Now in my old spinach lasagna recipe, I had a separate layer that was made up of ricotta, egg, and I believe a little more salt and the spinach. But what I've done to simplify this recipe is we're gonna add all that stuff, minus the egg, into this sauce. So that way all we have to worry about is 2 layers. Zucchini, sauce, zucchini, sauce. So we are adding 15 ounces of ricotta cheese. I have the part skim milk variety. And our 2 packages of cooked spinach, which I have put into a strainer and smushed on to try to get as much water out as possible. And I'll go ahead and add the extra teaspoon of salt that was usually in this layer in the original lasagna recipe. So our sauce is hanging out back there over low heat, just kind of letting a few bubbles come up and letting some flavor develop. We've got our oven preheated to 350 degrees and now it is time to assemble. So in a 9x13 baking dish, I like to start with a little bit of sauce along the bottom, just so that our zucchini might not stick so much. And we will go in with a layer of our noodles. And then layer of sauce, and another layer of our noodles. I'm gonna try to see how many layers we can get here. I think I'll add in a layer of the little reject. These are the, oh, our oven is preheated. These are the little pieces that I was too afraid that I was gonna cut some of my fingers off, so I sliced them into like little zucchini fries here. And out of all 6 of those big zucchini, I managed to get them all in that pan except for these few pieces, which were mostly just, you know, the skin pieces and some of the ones that were too thick from me hand cutting them, so not bad. That's packed full of zucchini. So this is going into the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then I will top it with cheese and let it go for another 10 or 15 minutes after that. Let's cook! So there you have it, this zucchini-laden reboot of the old spinach lasagna. Let's see how we did on the nutrition front. Here are the numbers for the entire recipe, and then broken down over 6 pieces, which is how we usually enjoy this. And let's see how we did at the register. Not too shabby. So that is it for this episode of Foodie Friday. Hopefully you enjoyed this reboot. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel for more fun all the time. Become a Paromaniac today. Be sure to socialize all our media. And until next time, rock on.